And I was telling the guys this was a little personal. I wasn't really focused on the yards. I just wanted to beat him.
He's a tough runner. He has a refusal to get tackled.
Every time I touch the ball, I'm thinking I'm going to score.
It's Ahmad Hardy's world, and we're just living it. It might be a mythical one because that's half a horse right there. I'm Jacob Siciliano with the Tiger Kickoff Show. Before we get into Ahmad Hardy, let's break down the game. Joining us are Columbia, Missourian beat reporters in Quentin Corpuel, Zach Sweet, and Chase Jeems. Guys, you were there. What are our Ragin reactions from a big win, 52-10, over the Ragin Cajuns?
It truly was Ahmad Hardy's world. One of the best single-game rushing performances in the history of Mizzou football. And thinking big picture, I know it's early in the season, but a lot of great running backs have come through Mizzou in recent years under Eli Drinkwitz. Ahmad Hardy might be the best of them. And that's nothing against Tyler Beatty, Larry Roundtree, or Cody Schrader, but Ahmad Hardy might be one of the better running backs I've ever seen in person.
I mean, 250 yards rushing, but it wasn't just Hardy. The ground game as a whole, 427 yards of rushing offense. I mean, spearheaded by Hardy, Roberts, and Marquise Davis, freshman. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that more. But I want to talk about the defensive front. That was dominant, man. Only 4 yards given up passing, but it was a lot forced from the defensive front, getting pressure, not allowing Daniel Beal any time to throw the ball, whether it was Zion Young, Damon Wilson, Khalil Jacobs, Nate Johnson even. They were in the backfield all day, and, I mean, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, on both sides of the field, Mizzou just absolutely dominated. I think we kind of knew what this game would be. I mean, they made a couple of mistakes, like you have the Pribula interception and that almost fumble from Marquise Johnson, but overall, they handled business and outplayed in every facet, especially on offense with that rushing attack. Handling business is what got them moved up to 23 in the AP poll. Overrated, underrated, just right, Quentin?
It's really tough at this point in the year. I mean, we still have pollsters ranking Notre Dame at number 10, and they have yet to win a game this year. I'm going to put more stock into it later in the year as we get a greater sample size, so I'm not really too attentive to what people have to say about the AP poll right now.
Are there 10 teams better than the Missouri Tigers in the SEC right now, Zach?
I mean, how many SEC games have we seen? It's hard to say that there's 10 better. I definitely actually would agree that Missouri is probably not the 11th best team in the SEC, but you can't buy too much stock. They haven't played an SEC game yet. Their opponent this week, South Carolina, just suffered a terrible loss at Vandy, 31-7, and dropped out of the AP poll. From 11, they dropped out of the poll. So now Missouri's ranked. South Carolina isn't. It's going to be interesting to see. But, yeah, I wouldn't say there's 10 better teams in the SEC than Mizzou. I'd just say it's too early in the season.
Where are you on the Goldilocks scale here, Chase?
Yeah, I try not to pay much attention to these AP polls and everything. It does feel a little low for Mizzou. I think they've shown that they can be a top 10 team in the SEC. Now, South Carolina, it doesn't look like it's a game that can really jump them up too far anymore. But that would be an impressive win and help them get more quality wins compared to some other SEC teams that have already had some big games already this season.
All right, well, we're going to talk about something that's a little too hot for that porch. Two things, Ahmad Hardy and the temperature. Well, let's roll the highlights from this one. Yeah, hot one for the Tigers. Drinks at that turf temp was up over 175 degrees. The only thing hotter than the turf, that guy right there, Ahmad Hardy. First drive, guess who? Hardy finds the lane and the end zone. 7-yard touchdown, 10-play drive. Hardy catching the Tigers a 7-0 lead.
The offensive line was in Moses mode all game long, parting defenders like the Red Sea and helping their teammates to the promised land.
You see Hardy, the celebrations too, they came far and few between. He talked about those celebrations after the game. Second quarter, Bo finds Hardy's counterpart. It's Jamal Roberts. Kansas knows that man. They know how explosive that guy is. 39 yards to the house. Missouri's perfect. 4 touchdowns on their first 4 drives.
Yeah, I mean, I was just really impressed on this play specifically. Bo Pribula hanging in there despite pressure in his face, and he finds the open receiver. He took what the defense gave him all day, and that was Jamal Roberts for a dump off there, 39 yards to the house.
Hardy had 172 yards against Louisiana last year, so they're pretty used to this right here. Hardy, just a casual 71-yard touchdown. Tigers lead 35-3.
I like that Moses comparison, Quentin. Hardy just finds that gap and goes all the way down the field. At this point, I'm already like, he could probably be done for the day and just be fine, but clearly this wasn't it for Hardy. But, I mean, what a play right here.
Quickness, speed, he's got it all. He finds a way to just bounce off of runners, and then you see the athleticism and the top-end speed from Ahmad Hardy as he takes against his Sun Belt rival foes. Tigers driving in the third. Ahmad Hardy, are you kidding me? This is 4 broken tackles on 1 play. Who can tackle this guy, Quinn?
Well, I'm glad it's not me. PFF credited him with 167 yards after contact against the Ragin Cajuns. His contact balance is so good, and he has been as advertised for the Tigers through 3 games so far.
And Hardy's one of those guys, too. He just sets himself up. Look at that. You know that guy's getting chewed out in the film room for not wrapping that tackle on that man. He sets himself up here. Another 7-yard touchdown from Hardy. He's just got those jukes.
I mean, feed the hot end. I, too, am happy Quentin's not trying to tackle Ahmad Hardy, but just when you think you have him down, he just keeps on running, and that's Ahmad Hardy for you, punching in for his third of the game.
Yeah, that's one tired horse right there. Whole lot of yards. Also going to be a whole lot of push-ups for those Army boys out on the turfs. Yeah, look at those. Come on. How many? 52. Yeah, that's right. Hardy ends this one with 250 on the ground. Tigers win at 52-10.
He has a refusal to get tackled. He's got really good vision. I think other than maybe the counter play down there on the first drive, I think he hit every hole the way you want to. And, yeah, I mean, he just got a game ball. So pretty special performance by him. And, you know, the key for us is going to be able to get him back physically.
We have relentless effort. So, like, every game, we treat it the same. We're trying to get better every single day. And don't matter if we play in Kansas, South Carolina, or the next. We coming in, we trying to win, and we trying to get better every day.
And Drake said he got that game ball. He's carrying that game ball all the way up Mount Hardy. Again, what a performance for Ahmad Hardy today. Ahmad Hardy, 462 yards this season, most in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the national picture, obviously we see the SEC right here. Taylon Green has been an excellent runner so far for Arkansas, and Auburn's really found something with Jeremiah Cobb. But I think Hardy has been easily the best one of them, not only in terms of production, but just the eye test. He has both thunder and lightning. He can break tackles and break away like we saw on that 71-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're talking just in the SEC, Hardy has definitely been the best running back in the SEC through 3 games. Yet, I mean, I'll go back to it again. We haven't seen a ton of conference matchups yet, so I'm excited to see how he does against tougher competition. But Hardy through 3 games, I mean, the only running back who statistically in all of Division I has more yards than him and more touchdowns is Robert Henry of UTSA, who's got 18 more yards and 1 more touchdown, but that's been against far weaker competition. So, I mean, it'll be fun to see how this plays out through the rest of the year.
250 yards certainly helps the case for the SEC, but if you take that out, do you still think he's one of the best rushers just from the pure athlete Ahmad Hardy is?
I absolutely think so. He's going to be one of the front runners for the Doak Walker Award by the end of the season. I'm seeing some conversation about Heisman. I saw ESPN's Bill Conley put him number 6 in the race right now. I think that's a little extreme. It's very early on in the season, but I do think kind of like how Cody Schrader was involved in it during his time, Ahmad could be involved in the conversation at least a little bit.
Zach touched on the rushing leaders in all of college football, and here's a look at Mount Rushmore. Again, you can see the leader there, Robert Henry Jr. from UTSA, and then our guy, Ahmad Hardy, 462 yards. Is he one of the best, Quentin?
Oh, he's absolutely one of the best. You also look at yards per carry. He's averaging, I think, a little over 8, which is bonkers. His yards after contact, I think, is between 5 and 6. Most running backs don't have between 5 and 6 yards per carry, period. And so what we've seen through 3 games has been a carryover of what we saw at UL Monroe. I wasn't sure how that was going to translate just because of the level of competition. Obviously going to see more difficult ones later on in the season, especially this weekend against South Carolina. But what we have seen is exactly what we saw against, or at rather, UL Monroe even more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to remind everyone, Cody Schrader ran for over 1,600 yards for Mizzou 2 years ago and didn't win the Heisman. He wasn't even a finalist. I'm going to also remind people last year, Ashton Genty had a historical season, didn't win the Heisman. So winning the Heisman Trophy as a running back isn't necessarily something that's in the cards, but the Doak Walker certainly should be, because Ahmad Hardy is one of the best running backs in all of college football. I know Jeremiah Love has only played 2 games for Notre Dame. I think from a skill perspective, Jeremiah Love is right there with him. I also would lean towards Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. I think both those guys are really, really good running backs, but Ahmad Hardy's right there with him. I mean, this kid is definitely in the conversation and one of the top 3 running backs in college football, in my opinion.
You mentioned
Only 3 running backs have won the Heisman this century. I would be surprised if anyone in college football becomes the 4th.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
You mentioned Cody Schrader. Was kind of an undersized back coming in. Ahmad Hardy's the same way. What makes both of these guys so special?
Yeah, I mean, Cody Schrader was very similar to Ahmad in a lot of ways. In terms of trying to tackle them, from that standpoint, Cody Schrader ran so hard. And I know Ahmad's a little different in the way that he's elusive, but he runs through people. He carries people with him. I mean, you're never going to get him down on the first guy, and that's what separates a good running back from a great running back. And Ahmad Hardy has all the characteristics of a great running back. And I'm going to remind everyone, he's a sophomore. I mean, he is going to be back next year, which is just a ridiculous thought to ponder considering all he's done through 3 games.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think of that he's going to be back next year and probably even better with the development. I mean, he could really go down as one of the all-time great Mizzou running backs. It doesn't really matter where he goes. The bread and butter's kind of been the outside zone has kind of been his bread and butter, but it doesn't really matter what route he goes. He dominates, he gets through defenders and goes for 71-yard touchdowns.
Yeah, that outside zone of Kirby Moore staple. Funny enough, his 71-yard touchdown was not the longest touchdown in the game. It was the one mistake the defense made. Linebacker Khalil Jacobs has the idea. Celebration practice needed in this one. First quarter, Hosea Trotter flies in for the TFL. Axeman off to a great start.
He plays just like his dad, a big run-stuffing thumper at the second level of the defense. He had an excellent game on Saturday.
The very next play, same man, Trotter loose in the backfield. He gets the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back plays set the tone early. The defensive front was smothering them all game.
Louisiana punted on their first 5 possessions, but they couldn't catch a break even on special teams. Nick Deloach, lights out, good night, flying bodies everywhere.
Yeah, really solid game from Deloach. I think he had 2 tackles. The special teams, can't even get anything going there. Just no momentum for this offense at this point.
And you know your team's playing well when those guys on special teams are flying around and making big hits like that as well. Tigers all fired up. They've got a shutout going all the way into the second. And then here's Jacobs. Big sack. You saw him practicing the celebration. There it is.
Jacobs received a ton of praise during fall camp, has seen his playing time increase, and has carried over what he was able to do in just a few games last year before he went down with an injury against UMass.
That front 7 was an absolute wall against the Ragin Cajuns. And we even see guys like Nate Johnson getting in here for the tackle for loss. The Tigers had 8 of them as a team.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was Johnson, Young, any of them, they were in the backfield all day, especially right here. Gets off the edge quick, what a release, and I mean, just smothered him in the backfield. 8 tackles for loss they had.
Zion Young had 2 of those 8 tackles for loss. The juice guy was playing with plenty of patience, though.
Yeah, as he likes to say, he's playing like a tiger, not a cat. What a game for him. Just that edge group is just incredible for Mizzou this season.
Tigers defense held the Ragin Cajuns to just 4 passing yards en route to the win. Here's what the defense had to say.
I think we did a good job this week. Coach Batoon had a good plan for us in the passing game, and we went out and was able to execute it good.
So let's talk about the defense here. At 4 passing yards in a game. Have you ever even seen that number before
No.
at this level of college football?
No, I have not. This was the lowest amount of passing yards Mizzou has held an opponent to since at least 2000, and that's really tough to do against an FBS opponent, even if it was against somebody like Daniel Beal, who had the lowest yards per passing attempt among all qualified FBS quarterbacks entering Saturday. They tried to bring in Lunch Winfield, and he got eaten up too. They couldn't get anything going over the air. 2 pass completions, as you said, only 4 passing yards. It was a great day from all 3 levels of the Mizzou defense.
I'm just upset that Quentin beat me to saying Lunch Winfield on camera because I really was excited to get Lunch Winfield's name in there. But yeah, 2 of 14 from the quarterbacks. They just struggled getting the ball out, and that was a product of Missouri's defensive front just consistently putting pressure on them. Like Drinkwitz talked about it post-game that the defensive backs in secondary were playing press coverage all day, and a lot of that went into the fact that they knew that there wasn't going to be much time for the Ragin Cajuns quarterbacks to get rid of the ball, and that proved to be true. There was just no time at all, and Missouri's defensive front just constantly got pressure and enforced bad throws and tough routes, honestly.
Speaking of the funny names, you throw me back to Dude Person from week 1 against UCA. Again, the 4 yards, from a defensive perspective, what does that tell you about this secondary? Are they taking a step forward? Because in years past, it's been an issue, especially if you think back to last year's South Carolina game. They got torched by the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I think there's still some improvement they can make, but you did see a lot here. I mean, Mizzou knew this. They could exploit this issue pretty early on with the quarterback situation. I mean, Beal and Winfield, it didn't matter what the score was. They could not get anything going. So putting the pressure on them, preventing explosive plays was a huge key for Mizzou. And it's something they're going to want to take into like SEC opponents like South Carolina next week.
Does this translate to South Carolina?
I'm going to say hopefully yes, but we're not for sure. I don't think they've played an offense quite like what South Carolina is going to be, especially if Sellers plays. I think if Sellers doesn't play, it might be a whole lot of a different game. But that's going to be a huge test to see what this secondary can do for the rest of the season.
You were shaking your head, Stu. Yeah, I know your opinion already.
I was ready to talk.
Yeah,
don't worry. I still am not ready to sit here and say the secondary was great because they really weren't tested at all. I mean, it was a lot of what we've said. The defensive front got home time and time again. They were in press coverage. The one time they tested it, Stephen Hall got called for a pass interference. I want to see what they look like against a guy like Nick Harbor this weekend and see if they can contain him. And I think South Carolina will be a big game regardless of who plays quarterback to see with the secondary if they can hold up against superior wide receivers. But against an inferior opponent, they did what they were supposed to do. They look good. So, I mean, that's all you can take away from that game, I think.
Are you in the same camp, Chase? So it was more of the front 7 making an impact, or do you have a different opinion that the secondary, Toriano Pride and Norwood are locked down? They're putting the seatbelts on.
No,
the Gamecocks, maybe.
I would definitely say it's the front 7. I'm going to highlight the linebackers, Khalil Jacobs and Josiah Trotter. Khalil Jacobs had a sack, and it was on a 3rd and 10, got forced to punt. Also had a tackle for a loss, and then Trotter also had 2 tackles for a loss. They just put so much pressure on both quarterbacks and prevented any kind of explosive plays. I know, again, it's a Louisiana offense that's kind of been derailed, but still, those guys look good, and they're going to really lead this defense for the rest of the year.
And that defense led the Tigers to a win that was so bad, Mr. Brightside never even played. But don't worry, there was still plenty of celebrating, and that's what we got in our best flicks from the game.
What's up? This is Marcus Gold, and make sure you watch the Tiger Kickoff Show. Let's go!
The Tigers put on a clinic against Louisiana. Our guy, Tyson Ellison, gives you a surgical outlook. He's been grinding on this for weeks. In the tape, in the notes, the Cotton Bowl killer, Tyson Ellison. Take it.
Over the last couple of years, Mizzou's had some great players on offense, but don't get it twisted. Those players are a revolving door of characters in Moore's anatomy. This is the main character of the show right here who gets that scheme perfect. Now let's take a look at his patient for this season of the show, right? He turns picture 1 into picture 2. That's already incredible, but look what he can do in this outside zone concept. Let's start at level 1. The offensive line has to determine the leverage for Ahmad Hardy to cut. Right now it's not defined, but you'll see by the time we get to level 2, bam, defensive end is kicked outside. Connor Tolson's got the backside defender walled off. Now Ahmad Hardy has a lane. This is the lane you're looking for as a running back. As you get up to level 2, where offensive lineman comes up to linebacker, that's blocked away. Wide receiver is blocking out here. He's already defined his leverage. Now you can get all the way up to level 3. Once those defenders are crossed out, you'll see Ahmad Hardy. Now, boom, level 3. What does that mean? That means Jadis is already blocking out here. He had to turn back and find color so he's not a wasted blocker. Wide receiver out here on the perimeter has pushed his defensive back to the sideline. It's a one-on-one now between this DB and Ahmad Hardy. Now, here's a secret, right? Come in close. these guys do not want to tackle Ahmad Hardy. They just don't. So you'll see on this play, he'll make an attempt, but they are really not searching for contact. As you'll see, now, what are we calling him, a centaur this week? He's gonna rush all the way to the end zone. It was a touchdown from the 40-yard line, you could tell, just based off the perfection of the play. This is more of a split zone concept. You'll see as we're looking at it, the right side of the offensive line walls in. Tight ends are looking to seal off this backside. Now, number 44, the linebacker, Harris doesn't get all of them, but he gets enough because, again, defensive backs do not want to tackle Ahmad Hardy. Nobody does. So once he gets past this level, scribble all that out. I mean, it's just contact balance. He's showing off his strength. He's running with a sled behind him, dragging defenders to the 5-yard line. He would score on the very next play. When you have so much success from the running back position, the great offensive coordinators are going to put in wrinkles. So here's the play. Ahmad Hardy and the whole defense is shifting to the right. You got Kevin Coleman coming back on a motion to a jet sweep across to the other play. Josh Manning, the receiver, hits his crack block. It's Caden Green against the DB. That's the biggest matchup you'll ever see, and it results in an explosive play. Obviously it does. It's the running back coaching too, because Brendan Haygood, the freshman, comes in and refuses to be tackled just the same. Look at this effort. Look at the way he refuses to go down to the 5-yard line once again. Great work ethic by the running backs. Now let's look at death row defense. It starts up front. 2 offensive linemen taken accounted for by 1 defensive lineman leaves all of this unblocked. Khalil Jacobs, Josiah Trotter, that's a dangerous combination. So one of them has a free shot at the running back, tackle for loss. Obviously, you've got 2 linebackers unblocked, that's what's gonna happen. Now, when you have a pass rusher unblocked, that's even worse. Damon Wilson wins this rep at the very first step against the offensive tackle. Let's look at the quarterback's perspective. He can't even look at his options before he's taken to the ground. Damon Wilson shrugs his shoulders. I mean, sure, I'll take the free sack. Check out this 3rd down package that Mizzou runs all the time. They've got a defensive end at linebacker now, so he gets a full speed launch to get penetration. Khalil Jacobs is going to wrap around behind. Easiest sack Khalil will have in his life. Runs the play, perfect execution. That way you don't have to dance through the offensive lineman, but you can dance after the play. I see you, Khalil. The objective this week now is to put South Carolina in death row as well. We will detail exactly how Mizzou can do that in the very next episode of Sideline Study Hall. Jacob, back to you.
Thanks, Tyson. I think we need a personal tutor from Tyson because all of us have not gotten a single pick. We are 0 for 8 and take it to the grave. And now it's time to spin the wheel of misery as our punishments await. Sweet got ice water dumped on his head. I looked like a fool in size 13 cleats. And now it's time for all of us to spin this once more. Just get it over with, Quentin.
Hey, I mean, a lot of people go 0 for 8. They're called baseball players, and a lot of them make the Hall of Fame. So I think we'll be all right. But yeah, I'm not envying this wheel, but I'm gonna spin it.
Are you serious?
Dude,
Oh!
there's no way.
We cut the safe spaces down. We cut them down. We cut them down to what? He still got it.
This is ridiculous.
Wow.
What magic do you have going on, Quentin?
All right,
I
I
don't
guess
know.
you're just no
I don't
fun
know.
over there. You're just not going to do a punishment all year. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to my punishment, Quentin.
I'm glad you are.
What I get?
Slime.
Oh,
Good choice of words.
Nickelodeon era. Our Nickelodeon era. Oh,
I
my
promise
gosh.
you we're bound to turn these picks around soon. At some point.
That's one of the few things that is self-explanatory on that board.
Slime.
Slime.
All right.
You just love getting stuff dumped on your head.
I guess.
Pause.
Well, last time I got safe, so we'll see if that continues with Quentin here.
I think
Well,
Quentin's
I already
winning
did
the
with
board.
me.
Oh
Not for you,
no!
though.
Oh no!
Not
This
for
is the
you,
one I
though.
literally told you about.
Not for you though.
What is it?
Hot take.
Hot take.
So I think I'm eating something spicy.
Yeah, well, they'll see. They'll see.
Yeah.
But it's quite the hot take.
Yeah.
All right. It's my turn here. Let's pray.
I hope it's history lesson. For the sake of the
That-
viewers.
I can't even see it.
Oh,
You're doing
We're
it.
getting slimed.
Oh, wow.
This will be great. This will be great. Oh yeah, but what's the Nickelodeon theme?
Oh, what is it?
I don't even know if we know it.
Brain
We'll-
search?
We'll
Yeah.
find
Yeah,
it.
brain
We'll
search.
find it.
That was a soapy slide they all
But-
went down. But
Brain
yes, they also got
Hey,
some.
just to illustrate how poor we were in our takes last week, watch this. This is so bad. We'll make our predictions for this week. Hopefully you guys have done your research, so at least one of us gets a right pick.
I have Mizzou scoring at least one defensive touchdown.
Against Louisiana, they're going to have 2 interceptions.
Lube, he's going to get his first touchdown of his career.
The Tigers get 3 turnovers. We're miserable. We're going to be slime covered. Here are the scores. A lot of great games across the SEC this week. Quentin, what'd you see across the conference?
Yeah, I was more paying attention to, obviously, Florida, LSU, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, obviously, because Mizzou plays them this Saturday. That South Carolina offense, and we'll get to this more on our episode later this week, but without Lenore Sellers, they did not look good. Scored 0 points in the second half. And even with Sellers against Virginia Tech and South Carolina State, explosive plays were masking a lot of first and second down inefficiencies. And so I'm really curious to see how South Carolina will look on Saturday against what is probably one of the better defenses in college football.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about South Carolina, so I'll go in a different direction. But I would not envy being Tennessee's kicker, Max Gilbert, right now on campus after missing that 40-yard field goal for the win. That was a crazy game, though. I mean, what a drive by Gunnar Stockton, down 8 points to go down and get the score and the 2-point conversion on a 4th down. I got to sit down on my couch and watch the very end of that game, so that was awesome. And then I also wanted to talk about that Texas A&M Notre Dame game. What a thriller. Texas A&M leads a game-winning drive with under a minute left to get in the end zone on a 4th down. May or may not have gotten away with the slight holding penalty, but it didn't get called, and A&M goes to South Bend and gets a massive win for the conference as a whole.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the whole lot of that game, but I have an Aggie friend who was so excited about that win. He said it doesn't happen very often for the Aggies, so that was pretty cool for them. But yeah, I think the biggest game for us is South Carolina, just with it being the next opponent. A lot to take away from there, and maybe Mizzou can capitalize on a reeling Gamecocks team.
Best team in the SEC is?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Georgia.
LSU, still.
I'm going with Georgia. I don't think LSU has looked good enough on offense yet. Their defense has been, I've been really impressed so far.
I love Whit Weeks.
Yeah, I'm loving their defense so far.
He's a great player.
I think Georgia right now has the best win of them and LSU, even though we thought Clemson was going to be way better. I thought Clemson was going to be way better. But of course, with them reeling, they'll probably find a backdoor way into the ACC championship.
Still going to Death Valley and beating Florida at home. It's a pretty impressive resume. But yeah, I can understand the Georgia takes from both you two.
Quentin, hopefully you're not singing the national anthem at Mizzou's game upcoming this Saturday against South Carolina at 6 p.m. They changed it originally from a whiteout to a blackout. Again, you can look at the future opponents. UMass is going to be a cakewalk for homecoming, and then you got Alabama, Auburn, Vandy. The gauntlet of SEC play begins. We thank you so much for watching this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. Want to have some special thanks again for our wonderful Columbia beat reporters that came all the way here to the studio today to talk some Missouri Tiger football. A big, 0.2 mile walk, fellas. Not that far. But again, you can find us on our socials on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and wherever right here on the Tiger Kickoff Show.